All right.
Hi, good morning. We are in the cutest of all possible board meetings this month. It is April 2009. This is the board meeting for the continuing committee. We are current, so we've got today, I'm Maggie Gepper, Jadzia Dax 8 on the boards, current chair and executive officer. With me at the moment are Daniel Madison, our director of communications, Justin Ford, our Chief Financial Officer, Chris Sonstepy, and Kitty, Director of Organized Play, and Ross Fortell, Director of Second Edition. Good morning, Ross. What do you have clever for us what do you have to say this morning for your clever introduction?
So with Charlie having a birthday recently or soon, I am going to offer him immortality. One of the Trek authors that I know is willing to put people's names into upcoming works. They could choose whether or not they want them to be an evil character or a good character. He promises that nothing bad will happen to them. So happy birthday, Charlie.
Aw.
That's awesome.
That is pretty awesome. All right, so then today with our 2019 board meeting, I do have the agenda up on the boards for anyone who wants to view it. First thing I want to do, actually, before we approve the minutes, I want to go ahead and move to one piece of new business, which is voting in our new board of directors positions for the director of first edition and the director of operations. So before I do that, before we all do that, I would like to very much thank all the members of the search committees who spent their time looking at applications, sat in on interviews, and worked hard to pick two really great candidates for those two positions. So thank you, all of you who are on the search committees. Also, thank you very much to all of the people who applied for the positions. We had a really, really, really tough choice to make on these positions because we had some really great candidates. So those of you guys who applied, thank you so, so much for being willing to put your hat in the ring. And we hope that you guys will continue to work with us to keep things going forward here at the continuing committee. So thanks to everyone. So now what I'll do, I'm going to put forth the candidates' names. So we have for the director of first edition, the search committee, after much thought, did vote to confirm, or did vote to put forth Charlie Plain's name for the permanent position of director of first edition. So let's go ahead and then for our, well, let's vote on him first. So let's see. I'm going to move that we are. So are there any questions about that nomination, guys?
No questions. I would second the approval.
All right. So Chris seconds the motion to confirm Charlie as the permanent director of first edition. So all in favor of that?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Any discussion? All right. So I will. So I'm going to invite Charlie to come on in as the new permanent director of first edition. So I've sent him an invitation to join us. All right. Then our next, we also had the position open for director of operations. So this search was, a little bit tougher because we needed to find a candidate who had multiple skills that were quite different from each other. We needed somebody who has some knowledge of programming to work with the programming crew. We needed somebody who was a good project manager, somebody who has experience with, a would be nice is somebody who has experience with shipping and logistics. And we actually found that candidate in Brian Schaffline. He is known as Jeebus on the boards. So Brian has, if you guys have been looking at, anybody's been on the boards or the Discord lately, Brian has been working quite diligently to get some aspects of the website working better. So Brian worked with James Heaney to get printing to be more, I guess we could say equitable, because our print format was very American, and some of the European players were dismayed that they couldn't print in the A4 format, and Brian just went out and said, "Hey, I've got this solution for this. What can you guys help me with?" So he's already been working on that programming side. He's working well with James and Marcus, like before he even became the director of operations, before he even applied for that. Also, Brian has experience with shipping and logistics in previous jobs. Like he said, that was a job that I just did in the past. So, which I was very surprised about also. So he is very excited about joining the team as the director of operations. I think he's going to be a good fit because he has project management experience. Like I said, he has experience with shipping, and he is a programmer. So this is, and I should mention, one of the things that came out in his interview is he has been on the side building an online play system for first edition. So just on the side, he's been working on that as a project for himself. So something that could possibly replace Lackey. So I think that we were very, very, very lucky that he decided to apply. And I do have to do one thing, full disclosure for everyone. Brian is a player who is local to me. He's a Chicago guy. I did not reach out to him to apply. You guys may have seen, he showed some interest on the forum thread attached to the article about we were looking for people, and all I ever said to him is, please go apply. So just in the interest of transparency and full disclosure, he is a player who is local to me.
Maggie, were you on the search committee for that or not?
Yes, I was on the search committee for that.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ross.
Yeah, I'd like to add that I've also seen him on the Discord. He's done one really cool thing there. So he's really committed to the organization and the community as a whole, both within the community, within the committee, and without.
Cool.
Yeah. So other questions, guys? Yeah. So
no, I'm excited to join the team. If you've got somebody who's got all that experience and is ready to help out, by all means, jump in. We got work to do.
Yeah, and we'll be so Charlie, actually, so all of you guys, I'll be we'll be working behind the scenes just to think about what sort of things you guys are doing right now that might things that we might transfer over to the role of director of operations. So for instance, maybe one of the things I'm seeing is that he could take over the the promo shipping, like who's just the logistics of that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's a later discussion. So, all right. So I'm gonna put forth his name then. So I move that we confirm Brian Schafline as our director of operations.
Second.
Okay. So Ross seconds. All right. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. All opposed? All right. Discussion? All right. Then Brian is confirmed as our director of operations. I'm going to send him an invitation. I don't think he can come this morning, but I will send him. The invitation. See if he can pop in.
Okay.
All right. So thank you guys so much. We have a full board now. Yay! Okay, so let's go ahead, go back to our agenda then. So let's go ahead. Did anybody have anything that they noticed that needed to be changed on the minutes from last month?
I don't think so.
Okay, I didn't see anything that seemed out of place. So do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move to approve them.
All right, Chris moves. Ross, you want a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Charlie, you're muted. All opposed? All right. So
Right.
minutes are approved. All right, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and move on to our department reports. So Charlie, could you tell us what's up with first edition?
I haven't had enough caffeine yet. Yeah.
It's kind
of a quiet period for first edition, but the biggest news is that the cage is in production since our last meeting. So it's out to Johnny and his fabulous team, and they're building the file so that we can put this sucker out when it's done. There's a couple weeks still left in that process. I'm looking to have it out. It'll be released in June, most likely at this point. But we've got to send it to the writing team so they can start working on articles, and started writing some articles, and it's moving towards release, which is good. So that will be coming soon. Playtesting is going pretty well. Jakar is the set that's up on deck right now, and the response has been good. We're doing some 25th anniversary stuff behind the scenes that's looking pretty cool. Got some special promo sets that are going to be coming out. And overall, like I said, it's been quiet. The biggest news lately has just been regionals, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
There have been, it looks like Chris had a really good one yesterday. 7 players, which was awesome. Just looking at it.
7.5 for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And holy crap, Black Hole's back.
Yeah, I was working on my interview questions for Kevin, and I'm like, holy crap, Black Hole's back was like one of the first questions. So it's like, well, I didn't see it at my first look, and I'm like, why are you running 2 space? And then I saw it, and I was like, oh, that's why. But anyway, yeah, I'm pretty happy. I think One-E's been I'm not going to say in a holding pattern, but there's been a few projects and initiatives that weren't being started because we didn't have a brand manager. Now that that's been resolved, I believe that we can get some of those things going and get some exciting things happening. Like I said, it's been quiet, but overall, I think One-E's in a really solid place. I don't see that changing in the immediate future, and new expansion is in the pipeline.
All right, excellent, Charlie. Thank you. Ross, what's up in 2E right now? I'm kind of excited about the things I've been seeing on the back side.
Yeah, speaking going in reverse order, Project Lassie is something that we're developing as a design team. We're getting ready. We know what the concept is. Still not, hopefully we'll get that board up and running pretty soon, but it's still in the very, very, very early stages. That will be the set with the set number of 50. Set before that is Project Anniversary, which is going to be for the 25th anniversary of the franchise of the game. That's going to be a bunch of cards that will be familiar looking to first edition players. Questions that design team is coming up with is what is a mission specialist in second edition and things of that nature. I have solicited on the One-E board to get some play testers for that. They will be second edition cards, but all the cards will be ones that are very familiar and fond of for first edition players. That version is coming along really, really well. The set that's coming out in May, Less Perfect Union, It's going to be the debut of Terra Prime, who are all sorts of awesome dissidents who are trying to do their own thing. There's a really awesome recruitment mechanic. Pretty much all the stuff you need for that faction is in that set. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on. Spoiler schedule is in order. I just need to get the start date, and I'll work with programming to get that. There's going to be all sorts of unofficial spoilers out there, probably one within the next minute or so. But I have sent a whopping 7 to social media, so you'll want to check out the internets to find that out. And then a project that doesn't really have a specific date is the virtual starters. Just started out as saying we need to update these because they were created both before virtual printing, virtual promos were a thing. Sorry, virtual proxies were a thing, and also before a lot of sets came out. So there's a thread there to update that. And a really interesting thing is that kind of dovetailed into 2 separate projects. One of them is going to be virtual starters, but the other is going to be something that's a little more optimized for sealed deck play. So those 2 are going to come out of that. And I promised you a spoiler, so here it is. Never before seen. Wait a second. Yeah.
That's awesome.
What's the name of the set in May, Ross?
A Less Perfect Union. Barring several catastrophes, it's going to be in May sometime.
That's not Gannicus, is it? What's how is that?
Oh no! How did I forget Gannicus? Gannicus is in the process of testing. It's around the middle of that process. Rules and creative will probably get that by the end of May at the very latest. That's coming along pretty well. It's a battle set, so we're just making sure that that works well with what's already established.
All right, excellent. Yeah, I'm excited about I'm excited about a lot of that stuff. I can't wait to see the Project Anniversary stuff. And by the way, I already answered the question about what is a mission specialist in 2 weeks. I started a whole thread on that.
Isn't that like Thomas, somebody who solves the mission by themselves?
Well, I made it. My personal definition is they have to cost 2 or less, and have all the skills for a mission. So because if you don't, well, that means like Esri, and that's crazy. But she's edge case.
Get out of my head, that tickles.
All right.
You help with the sealed stuff, and you haven't heard from me, please let me know. I love sealed decks, so I'm happy to either grab our guys who like to play sealed and play test, or just even give you some feedback on cards you're putting in that pool.
Oh yes, please, Chris, come join us. I'm on the Project War Games. That's the 2.0 project. I'm on that project, so please come and join us. And you can see what we've been doing. It has evolved into 2 parts right now. One for decks that would be suitable to be given to a beginner, so that that they could take to a tournament and not get totally slammed. And then also sealed decks that are like unoptimized that you could run with. That you could do virtual packs. You could print out virtual packs and do a sealed deck tournament with them, which I also love sealed, which is why I'm looking more at that than the newbie deck project.
So something akin to coming of age, right?
Indeed, something very much like it's very much like coming of age.
And once your menagerie is all set, you could go to the forums and you see that you're added to the War Games thread.
Just now?
Yes.
Probably had access to it this whole time and didn't even know where it was.
No, you've added for a solid 30 seconds or so.
Oh, all right, good.
All right, cool. So then let's go ahead. Communications next. So Daniel, what's going on with communications right now?
Let's see. On the ambassador front, those who are ambassadors that got our most of them should have their shirts by now. That's something that Charlie was sending out, and I heard from a few ambassadors that they've already received them. So that's a thing. Those that had ordered shirts to purchase should have their invoices by now. So that's where we are with that. The writing team is gearing up for one, soon to be two expansions. As Ross just said, a less perfect union is on the horizon, and we've already started allocating cards for writers. And on the One East side, I just received the Cage the other day, so that's about to go to my writers. And we've already earmarked some cards for social media. So the writing team is about to get pretty busy over the next month or two. Of course, regional season is also a thing, which means Lucas and Charlie are very busy with regional reports as regional events go down. And Ross is busy writing his weekly TUI reports as well. So a lot going on the writing side. That is mostly it on my end. I've been kind of busy working with other departments over the last few weeks because I'm doing some stuff in a couple of different 1E design teams, and got busy with organized play as an opportunity came into my lap, and that's probably going to come up in the organized play report. So yeah, that's about it.
All right, cool. Thank you very much. All right, so operations and so as I mentioned, I'm going to be working, and I'm going to talk. The rest of the board members will be working with Brian to get him up to speed for the running of operations and getting things moving more smoothly there. A couple of things that I know about operations: we have one important change to one of the things that Art will be actually not be producing anymore. We won't be able to do just at the currently. Art has said that they do no longer have time to produce pack art and the cover sheets for expansions. So if somebody out in the public has graphic arts and design experience and would like to join the team and work on that pack art, we would highly encourage somebody from the public to come apply, join the art team, and work on that. Looking at the promenade, I can see that everything that was ordered before March 31st has been sent out. Dan's got a lot of, there's a few, I would say there's probably about 20 orders that are printed but not packed. There's something here, so there's, there are things in holding patterns. I don't see anything from the most recent raffle that's on the shipping list yet. So that's where the warehouse is right now. Charlie, do you know, because this question's come up, do you know if the Continentals and Worlds promos have been printed?
They're printed and at. I'll double check for sure, but I'm pretty sure we printed those early, and I know he was working on them when he had time. So.
Okay, yeah, we just wanted to make sure that those get out soon. I know that Dan had also said that he had run out of some of the regionals promos, and he had sent out everything. So he's got to assemble. He has printed regional sheets of regionals promos. He needs to assemble some more so he can make sure to send those out. That may be one of the things that's holding up some of the orders. So if you have a June regional, just be forewarned that that's the reason you may not have received your regional kits yet. On the programming front, we've had some things happen. Like I mentioned before, the printability or how you print sets has changed. So James and Brian and Marcus are working on that. And but I don't know. I haven't heard anything about where achievements are at or anything like that. So that's what I know from operations right now. Any of you guys have anything else to add? No? All right. So I haven't received any promos to print or anything. Charlie, did you have something to say?
Justin, did you order more paper for Jeremy? Asked you about that. I never heard back.
I'll have to go through my email after the meeting, and we'll get that. I'll check and get that resolved.
I was waiting on that. I was waiting on more paper to get ordered, but we have all of the promos for all of the new sets of tournament promos are done and ready, and just need to get printed and sent out to the producers so they can be in the warehouse for July 1st.
Yeah, and that does bring up, since I know that the Preserver Obelisk is assembled and at the warehouse because I made those, but what about the promos for A Less Perfect Union?
I'll see if Jeremy has enough paper to do those, and I'll get those done this week. So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you send them to me, I should be able to assemble, no problem.
Okay.
Or if you guys want to take care of them there, that's in Salem, that's fine too.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but I want to make sure that's ready to go because one of the things that we've had trouble with recently is things like the temporally displaced Shattered Mirror release event where they didn't have their kit, or none of us had kits until 2 months after the release. So I'd like to not have that happen this time around, especially since we're ready to go with the cage. Ross, no, we won't spoil things yet on what things are the promos for Less Perfect Union. We'll let social media do that.
Preserver Obelisk is such a good promo, though.
Oh God, it's gorgeous.
And it sits on the table, so you get to look at it the whole game. It's awesome.
Well, I'm always a fan of any promo foils that sit out during the game. So missions, ships, yeah, those are the best. Yeah. All right, so let's see next. Organized play.
Where to start? As everybody's kind of alluded to, it's kind of in full swing. I believe that San Diego Masters happened after our last meeting, right? So kind of touch on that. We had a little bit of a smaller crowd for the one event, but the enthusiasm was great. If you guys have not had the opportunity to do a tin draft, I would highly recommend it. Super fun. Those coming of age starters are great for that specific product, and they've balanced it well with the number of personnel for each of the main 3 affiliations, FedRAM and Kling. And then obviously the 2 event that was kind of the late night party. That was, man, top to bottom, that was a really tough field. There were, I think, 6 of us, Maggie, and I don't know about you, but I didn't see an easy game anywhere. I didn't see anybody I was thinking, oh, I can beat them easy. Not at all.
No, that was that I played TK second round, and I was like, oh, this is going to be heavy.
You had me and TK, right? You went 1-2.
Yeah, I played you. I played TK, then I played Thomas Weinberg. I hadn't met him before. He is very much a deliberate player. He's very
Thomas he will play dilemmas that you forgot existed and wreck your day with it, both in 1E and 2E. Like, what is this card? It's set 2? Who uses this? And it just ruins your life.
He and I had a lot of really interesting conversations out on the patio about how, how he in first edition he'll have 24 dilemmas and try to squeeze another one in there, and I'm just like, holy cow, dude, that's insane. And you're right, they're dilemmas I've never seen. So yeah, it was really great to meet the San Diego guys in person. I had a great time. I'm sure Meg had a great time. And again, that's what Trek's all about, right? I mean, yeah, it would have been nice if we had 3-4 more players, but the group that was there, everyone was really had a great time. We watched movies all day, and Johnny and Dan, I can't say good enough things about them putting on that event. They did a really good job. Sorry, I have Tribbles coming out again. More kittens.
Yeah, Johnny's house is awesome. It was a
Yep.
great, comfortable place to play. I really, really appreciated him hosting that.
Yeah,
So
the hospitality was top notch for sure.
yeah,
sorry,
so
my wife has foster kittens. For anybody watching this, and I have 3 Tribbles on me right now that are all clawing me. So if I'm moving around, it's because they're attacking me. Anyway, so as Charlie mentioned, we are knee deep in regional season, and regional applications are still being accepted. I know that I personally would love to see an event in Russia, maybe see a couple more in Europe in general. Online, we could obviously use a TUI event online if there's interest. So by all means, still get those applications in to your continental coordinator, either that's Jules or Michael, or need be if you're in the nebulous neutral zone, send me an email and we can tip. I think year to date we're a little behind schedule as from last year, but in terms of total, but right around this time last year, I think we had the same number of applications. We had a lot of late applications last year too. So it's not too late. Get in. Can play an event like what I'm doing this weekend. I'm running our local gigs. Charlie alluded to Kevin's win with Black Hole yesterday. Kevin played, I think, a DQ solver that he said in every one of his games he ate 2 of his opponent's missions. So different, crazy things you can only do in first edition, right? And then today with Nelson and I think Jeremy Benedict joining us, it should be another car wreck. There'll probably be 8 of us, maybe 9 playing 1E, or sorry, 2E. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. And what else? Dan. So the Texas Masters at the end of the year, due to unforeseen circumstances, has been changed. If you guys remember, we had a couple of too many applications actually for Masters this year. So Michael and Dan got together and reassigned that event to Dan over in Florida. So I think it's in West Melbourne, right, Dan? Is that where it's going to be? So it'll be his backyard.
Yeah, that's right.
Not too far. I'm sorry, what?
I said, yeah, that's right. It's on the Space Coast.
Yep. Not too far from Orlando for any travelers, and I hope you guys will come out for that. And then obviously, Masters here, we've got one in South Dakota, I think, next month. So, plenty of opportunity for high level play. The Masters foils look great. The regional promos look great. Yesterday we did a surprise pack where we gave away the 1E foil with the 1E Masters foil. So it was the ship and the captain to one lucky participant at our event yesterday. And all in all, I think the organized play guide's been well received. I think again, regionals are just humming right along. So organized play is in a great spot, I think, right now. Any concerns? Obviously, that if I'm coloring it too nice, reach out to me. Anybody out in the world who's got an issue with organized play, come talk to me.
all right, awesome. Thank you, Chris. I will take this moment to shamelessly plug my regional, which is May 18th and 19th. So there's no better birthday present for me than people coming out for my regional. So yeah. So
careful what you wish for. I heard Steve was headed down there, maybe even Robin. You might get a Dominion battle player and a Maquis player for your trouble.
yeah, Robin is pre-registered. So anybody who's coming down, if you're coming in from out of town, as I mentioned in the regional thread, people are welcome to stay in the Basement of Doom. I owe Justin $1 now. So yeah.
I thought his was eternal destitution. You could be the
Well, that's
basement
his league. No. He calls my basement the Basement of Doom.
Doom. All right.
So yeah. So anybody, we have many air mattresses and a new comfortable foam couch that folds out to be a California king down there. So it's all, it's set up for guests. So come on out, stay for free at my place. Your one and only fee for staying is one shot of Malort. All right.
And,
So
one is enough.
yes, one is.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
all right. Finally, final department report is for our financial status. So Justin, CFO, let us know what's up with our finances.
So I do want to talk a bit about the planned budget for the coming year, so that way everybody they can plan the projects and whatnot around that in terms of production. There is a link in the forums for if anyone wanted to pull that up. Basically, long story short, took the actual results from this past 11 months, May through March, and did sort of a decline in the number of quantities just to be on the more conservative front, so we don't run into the situation where we don't have any activity and any income coming in. Not saying that those numbers are what we're going to get next year, but just in terms of a money standpoint.
Projections.
And so and obviously if we get more, great. Budgets are always, of course, subject to change. Like if we don't use the budget for 1 month, I adjust it to move it out into the rest of the year so that we don't lose that money. Based on what our current activity is, I think $1,000 in terms of for organized play, which is the bulk of what we spend money on, our foils, play mats, buttons, I think should be enough to cover our events for the full year. Shipping as well, $1,000 in shipping. I don't think we've spent more than $1,000 in shipping over the last year, roughly. And then potentially streamlining the shipping down to also shipping it either once a month to people that order things multiple times a month, just so we do cut down that cost potentially. I know nobody had much chance to look at it, but does anybody have any questions if you were looking at it?
Yeah, I know it takes a lot of time to put this together, but we gotta have this more than 2 days before it's supposed to go into effect. Like, it's just, there's no time to read through it and talk about anything. If this is supposed to start May 1st, then we have no chance to look at it.
Right. I mean, we can always make changes if you feel we want to make changes. But one thing I have noticed over this last 11 months, 12 months, basically, is, income is down. Donations, $500 or $600 for the full year, and that's significantly down over previous years. We did have a lull this past year with issues with the promenade, so that obviously is impacting income stream, and so not necessarily great there. But we can revisit this in the May meeting to give everybody a chance to review it, and we can get that taken care of. The getting the bank account switched over is proving to be a little bit more difficult. I do have view-only access submitted to we have our current chair, and then the audit committee chairman will also have view-only access to the bank account online for transparency purposes as well. So that way there's never just one person that has access to the funds, and so we don't have any issues, which I know that's been an issue in the past. So all in all, looking good. A lot of work to get things switched over, and that's proving to be more difficult than I thought it would be. So that is being worked on. And that's about it.
All right, so I will table like voting to implement the budget until, so it'll be a little late. We'll table it so we can have discussions about it this month, and we'll put it in on the May board meeting for budget approval. And I think that's fine. This is the first time I think we've ever had a like strict budget anyway. We just sort of up until now worked with, well, there's money there and we need to spend money.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I agree. I think it's something we need, and I think that it's a good idea to just table it. We'll have conversations offline if we need to, and then come back and vote on it like next month.
okay. All right, next thing. All right, I didn't have anything. I was looking at old agendas. I didn't have anything that I found for old business really. I mean, one thing that I could put in there for old business is the coming up with a policy for how we can support TDs who need money for their venues. So we have a policy for that. I was not able to work on that this month because of the board searches and a number of other things that have come up. So one of my tasks for myself for this month is to work on that policy and put it out to you guys on the public to get some public input on when and how we should support TDs who need money for venues. You know, like with what happened what happened this year with Continentals in Atlanta. Oh, Charlie, you're muted.
Did we send that money to Mike?
I reached out to John yesterday, asking him when he was going to put the matching amount in, so I could send the 1,000 to Mike, and he told me that he would call me one day next week and get that arranged a time. So I will let everybody know once that has been done.
Is John's money going to us?
Well, I told him it'd be better if John needs to make the donation in to us, and then we'll send the 1,000 to Mike either via PayPal or however we're going to do it.
Yeah, let's just not wait too much. Like, I understand John's got a lot going on, and that's fine. But if we have to just send him 500 now and 500 later, let's do that. Let's just not leave Mike hanging. Okay. That was my 2 cents, not
Okay.
the rule.
Yeah, I'll probably maybe by next Wednesday or Thursday get it sent to him if I don't hear from John.
Okay. Then new business. Charlie asked if we could have a discussion on how we can reward casual play. And actually, this is looking like it's pretty much the last thing on the agenda, since the other 2 things that we've already talked about. So, Charlie.
Yeah, it's a complicated set of things that I want. Casual play is a getaway. One of the things that I've learned from watching Facebook groups is there's a lot of people who play but don't get involved in the CC. Some of them are just like anti-CC. Some of them are just like don't want the overhead of dealing with tournaments and all this other stuff. But to me, and this is mostly with regards to first edition, I know that the same thing applies for second edition. To me, that's a failing of this organization that we aren't doing anything for the people that just want to play Trek with their buddy once a month, or what was that? I can't hear you, Chris.
I didn't say anything. I was just nodding.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm getting feedback. That's all.
So I just think we should. There are people that can't get 3 people together and have no interest in playing Lackey. I've heard from a player whose only internet access is on his phone. I've heard from a player who, doesn't have reliable internet and works strange hours and can't play Lackey, but he has a friend he wants to play with. So I think we should have some sort of way and ultimately this is motivated by wanting to get those players involved in the community and getting the data from their games available to us. You know, for years, I'll be honest, I'm not sure that block is going to continue because we have very little data on people playing it. But for years I was hearing at Gen Con, oh, I love block. We play it all the time. Well, you put your tournaments in? No, we don't do that. So there's a couple ways we can approach this. You know, now that we have a director of operations, we can look at making access to the tournament system easier for people who have a problem with it. And then we can come at it from like, what if we do a casual play program where you report your games, not necessarily tournaments, just you go in and you say, I played this guy and these are the decks we played and this was the result. Bare minimum amount of information. And in exchange for doing that, we reward you somehow. Perhaps we give you achievement points. Perhaps we give you ratings points. Perhaps we give you Platinum if we go that route. Perhaps you get, you know, extra raffle tickets or whatever. But just a system in which, obviously, anytime you do something like that, you have to be mindful of potential abuse. We'd have to, you know, be aware of that. But if there was just a way for people to like click in that they played a game and get us the data, so we're seeing like, hey, this was a kitchen table game and these two decks got played, and that gives us information about the cards and how they're being used and the formats they're being used in, and then rewarded people that want to play and be part of the community and get cool stuff but can't do tournaments for whatever reason. This is the type of thing that I'd like to have in play for casual play program. Just like, it's more important to me that you play and we know that you play than you play in a particularly structured format to me.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a great thing to build into the upgrade to the Promenade. So if we're talking about reward systems, if you put in X number of games, you know, you can get so many pieces of Platinum, and your opponent can get so many pieces of Platinum for playing so many different games. So it'd be, yeah, that would be a good thing to be able to build into that system, where the tracking for that goes into the achievement system and it goes into the Promenade. And so that is gonna be something heavily dependent on what we can do with the site.
Yeah, like have like a match play system where you just go in and you do like a head-to-head, just put player 1 versus player 2, and can add your decks, link your decks, put your score in. Yeah, always encouraging play is completely what we're all about, and so we definitely want to, if it's feasible with the programming side. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we need to do is just sort of figure out what we want this thing to actually do, and then I'm willing to volunteer that on that. Put together an actual like plan for the project, and then we can loop our new operations manager in and get some actual informed opinions on how we want this to work. I could work with you, Chris, and Ross about, you know, what we want to support. Like, do we want to give this a K value and just make it real low? Do we want to, you know, do we want to give it access to any achievements or just some achievements? And that's just things I think we should all talk about. Long and short, I think we just need a system where you can do basically what Justin said, where you just a real simple 30-second form where you just say, I played this deck against this person and won 100-65, you know? And
it might be easier to start that, either if we did not worry about like a K value of the rating, just have it be a separate system where we just can track it in the database and just have that and not have to deal with the programming of ratings and whatnot. Because I know that can be a bit more of a challenge, I think.
Well, I mean, it's new programming no matter what, and the rating system's already done. So it's probably more work to build the system that tracks it than it is to tie it into. I'm getting ahead of myself because ratings may not matter. We may not want to put ratings on it. You know, there's an argument because, again, you don't want to make this an abuse potential where I can report, oh, sure, I played 3 games a day against my kid and won 75 games in a row and jump a bunch of ratings points, or get a bunch of free Latinum. It's got to be limited to some degree. But
there's the other side of the coin too, where players with high ratings aren't going to be interested in playing experimental decks for fun.
Yeah.
If you apply a K value to it, I'm less likely to play a deck I just built yesterday. I'm probably going to play something I built a year ago. But the brainstorming session, and we can obviously talk more offline, is there any way we can tie this in with social media and the Show Me Your Space Lines hashtag? Because there's got to be people that are playing at home that are not in a tournament that could just take a quick photo and upload it to social media.
Yeah, that's actually, I've got a big proposal I wanted to make. I didn't have a chance to finish it, but it ties into this. I wanted to start doing, I'm calling it First Friday and Second Saturday, but it's really just like the first weekend of every month, anytime between Friday and Sunday, play 1E, post a picture, and get something. Get a Latinum, get a cookie, but use that, you show me your space line or whatever as our hashtag. And it's just like during this, and then we can theme it. So like month 1 can just be play, and then it can be play a pack deck, and then it can be play Klingon, and then second Saturday would be the exact same thing, but for the second weekend of the month for 2E. And we could do third Tribbles or something if we wanted to, but I don't think Tribbles needs the help. But just the idea that we do some organizing on a global scale, like sometime during this weekend, play 1E and be part of the community of people that are playing 1E this weekend. But there'd have to be a casual component where people who don't have anybody to play with can build their deck and snap a selfie, or the kitchen table guys can get in on it. It's just this is the 25th anniversary of the game, and we should be doing more to promote it and leaning into social media. So I know it's possible that we could even, doing what you said, write a bot that goes through Twitter and Facebook and looks for those tags and pulls things into a gallery and ties things. I don't know. We could get real fancy if we wanted to, but the point is we need to do something to not only get people who aren't part of the tournament system involved, but get access to that information so that design can make better informed choices about what cards we're making. We don't want to push. You don't want to make cards that we don't want to make a bunch of, just in this example, Herosian cards and then find out that Herosian are getting played all the time. It's not in tournaments. That's not necessarily something smart. We need to know that. We need to know, hey, there's a huge market for people who play Decipher Traditional. Is there a way that we can make a product specifically tailored to that? To be like, here's an introduction to how you use virtual cards that fits perfectly with how you play Decipher Traditional, that type of thing. You could argue that we did that with TNG, but point being, there's information out there that we're leaving on the table, and I'd like to get access to it.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just actually talking with Austin about this a couple of days ago, that he feels we're not leveraging social media enough, and that he's got some ideas about how we can work with the folks on the Facebook page, in the dojo, to really pull people into the site. So yeah, I mean I think that's going to be a key component of this for sure. All right. So any other comments on that? All right. Well, that'll be added to the list of things then that we'll be putting on Brian's plate as he gets up to speed. All right. So did anybody else have any new business? All right. Oh, we just lost Daniel. Oh, he says his internet went down. I just got a text from him. All right. So so I have right now, so if we're doing this the last Friday or the last Sunday of every month, right now I have that date as May 26th, which is Memorial Day weekend. I don't know how you guys feel about meeting on the Sunday of Memorial Day. I'm seeing, I don't know what I'm doing Memorial Day yet.
Maybe you try to just throw it the weekend in front and see if that works better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having my regionals, but I can, if we have it earlier in the morning on Sunday, I should be able to make that just fine because it's regional starts at noon.
Well, yeah, Memorial Day weekend is my regional, but that's 9 a.m. for me, and I can make it 9 a.m. Starts doesn't start until 11.
Yeah, I'm probably out of town Memorial Day weekend, so I would vote the weekend before. But as much as I was grumpy this morning, I can actually get up this time. It doesn't matter.
And shameless plug, Memorial Day weekend regionals. Saturday, Tribbles, a side event. We're doing standard orbit Tribbles. If you play standard orbit in 2E and you play and you like it, standard orbit Tribbles is going to be crazy, nutty fun. We'll probably be late at night. It'll be awesome. 1E is Sunday. Saturday is 2E. 6 events, 2 days.
In the standard orbit, you have to drink whatever drink is in front of the play pile that you're rotating.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. So
I don't see how that works with Michael because he doesn't drink. So.
milk. It'll be milk for him or something. I don't know. But 6 events, 2 days. Great dinner. The menu's up on the boards if you anyone interested. It's going to be a big feast.
All right, cool. Then we'll shoot for May 19th, a little earlier in the morning, for our next board meeting. So, all right, that's all I have. If there, we didn't have. Let me check the chat room real fast. I didn't see anybody. Yeah, there's nobody in the chat. We had nobody on the agenda who had wanted to come in. Oh, we have some guests. We have some sock ninjas here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, sock ninja.
No, you're the sock ninja.
Wait, you're the sock ninja. What?
All right.
I don't think you know what a ninja is.
Well, they're fighting each other with their socks right now, and Ivy has a rubber band around her head, ninja style. So,
As you do.
yes, because that totally makes sense. All right, so all right, yep, Miles, get that out of my face. I want to close this meeting out so I can shove some food in you guys' faces.
I'm
All right.
30.
So. All right, so then I am going to move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All right.
Third, fourth.
All right, yeah. All right. All right, so I call this meeting of the Board of Directors of the Continuing Committee for April 2019 closed. Thank you all for watching.